Nope.
Since Christmas is next week, and I'm sure many of us will be receiving video games or video game related paraphernalia, I figured it would be a good time to share the top 5 creepiest moments I experienced back in the PS1 era. The twist though is that none of the games on this list are in the horror genre. They're just games with horrifying scenes or elements. Again, to be clear, the contents of this list are of my own personal opinion. Let's begin. Number 5. Winston Smith from the Tomb Raider series. Though there are a lot of tension-filled scenes throughout the Tomb Raider series, nothing quite made my skin crawl like Winston Smith, the creepy butler from the original series. This guy started off as a seemingly normal servant, loyal to Lara and her training. But as you continue to venture throughout the luxurious Croft mansion, it becomes clear that Mr. Smith is an obsessive stalker, most likely with insidious intentions. This guy will slowly and eerily follow you everywhere. That means into the backyard, your bedroom, and yes, even the bathroom. No matter how hard you try to escape, he finds a way back to you. Who else comes to mind when you think of stalkers who insist on a slow walk? You can't fool me, Winston. Number 4. All the bosses in the Twisted Metal series. Few games bring back the wonderful memory of sparking my adolescent violence and bloodlust quite like Twisted Metal. The infamous automotive battle arena games feature a great selection of deadly vehicles for players to choose from as they fight their way to the top of the Twisted Metal tournament. Those of us who have indulged in any of the Twisted Metal games have become familiar with the special bosses that get released into your world at the end of certain levels. You remember how it goes, right? You finish off the last of your standard opponents and wait patiently for the next loading screen to appear. But instead, you are introduced to a new, often gigantic, brooding vehicle coming your way. Easily the most recognizable and most horrifying, for those with coulrophobia, is Sweet Tooth, the evil killer clown behind the wheel of a murderous ice cream truck. Really, guys? You know how scared I was when the ice cream truck would roll down my street? I hope you're happy, Twisted Metal. Number 3. Robot torture. Wild 9. Sadistic? Evil? Looking to enjoy the thrill of hearing your enemies beg for mercy before they are killed in a variety of gruesome methods? Then may I humbly suggest Wild 9. As a game that proudly boasts the phrase "torture your enemies" on its packaging, Wild 9 is no stranger to intense violence. Your main character, a young man named Wex, has an electric rig on his arm that allows him to electrify, pick up, and move enemies. The catch? It's all against robots. Not so bad, right? Not exactly. You see, the robots are extremely human-like. They have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, limited speech functions, and oh yeah, they can bleed. The neon green substance is clearly meant to be some type of fuel, but regardless, it spews everywhere as you murder them. A lot of the time, you'll even hear them begging for mercy as you hold them over different traps with your rig. From off the top of my head, some different methods you can use to kill enemies include slamming them into pieces, impaling them into spikes, dropping them into grinders, decapitation, explosives, fire, acid, drowning, and so much more. I could go on, but why spoil the sick and twisted surprises when you can find out for yourself? Number 2. The Toy Palace from Rugrats Search for Reptar. Who the hell would have guessed that one of the creepiest moments would come from a Rugrats game? You know, Rugrats? The classic Nickelodeon cartoon about talking babies? Well, those who have played the game are more than likely familiar with a level titled The Toy Palace. Based on an extremely similar episode, Tommy and Chucky are locked in a toy store at night and are tormented by all the creepy creatures lurking within the dark. Anyone familiar with the show knows that among the long list of fears Chucky had, clowns were number one. So, what did they decide to throw in? Clowns. A lot of clowns. That's just cruel, right? Oh, and let's not forget the bone-chilling music floating in the background the entire time. E for everyone, my ass. That's already pretty freaky for a children's game, right? Well, it gets worse. The end of the level pits you against a giant King Kong ripoff named Thorg. Thorg is like Slender Man before Slender Man was even a thing. He would be waiting around a corner, and as soon as you turned and looked at him, he would spring into life, making his way towards you. The battle cry he would shout as he approached, combined with your character Tommy being a fraction of his size, gave the player a serious sense of dread and danger. I have vivid memories of thinking I was safe until turning Tommy around only to have Thorg mere feet away from him, shouting, "Thorg hungry! Thorg want to eat!" Thank the Lord that Reptar was able to beat Thorg and save the day. Hashtag Team Reptar. And finally, number 1, Psycho Mantis from Metal Gear Solid. Holy God, it's Psycho Mantis. There is so much I could say about this boss, game, and series in general. The Metal Gear franchise delves into plenty of heart-pounding and creepy gameplay, but in my opinion, none of them compare to the first time you encounter Psycho Mantis. Besides being one of the most creative, innovative, and memorable boss fights I have ever experienced, it is easily the most horrifying. Before Mantis even reveals himself, the music begins to intensify ever so slightly. Soon after, your temporary in-game partner, Meryl, starts acting weird. Her voice becomes distorted in a way that's reminiscent to any demon-possession film you've seen. It's not long before she begins going nuts, trying to kill you. And also make love to you, I suppose. An emergency call from your support team informs you that the music is actually Psycho Mantis' mind control music, and that he has taken control over Meryl. That was enough to make 9-year-old me almost quit playing out of fear, but it got crazier. In the following cutscene, Mantis, quotey fingers, reads the mind of the player. He begins describing your gameplay thus far, such as how many times you were caught, how many enemies you killed, and how many traps you set off. He even reads your memory card data. The whole part had me staring, eyes wide. As soon as the cutscene finishes, you are plunged into the fight. Your screen then goes black as if the PlayStation feed was cut. It's just part of Mantis' tricks, but almost everybody who's played admits to being caught off guard the first time it happens. Hold on, I'm not done yet. During the boss fight, whenever you try and shoot Mantis, he dodges the bullets. It will happen literally every single time until you die and have to try again. The only way to break free from his psychic hacks is to switch your controller from port 1 to port 2. After doing so, the flamboyant freak loses his ability to read your thoughts, allowing you to finally take him out. The entire scene is one that will be ingrained in my memory forever. I can't even look at a gas mask without worrying about it rising up, reading my thoughts, and accusing me of not liking girls. Yeah, what an asshole, right?
Who's that? Oh, you don't like girls?
Well, there you have it. The 5 most memorable scary moments in my PS1 gaming history. Can anyone relate to the items on my list? Or am I just a wuss who knows nothing about gaming and horror in general? Either way, be sure to voice your opinion in the comments below. If you do comment and subscribe, you'll automatically be entered in our monthly movie giveaway for a chance to win a Blu-ray copy of Black Christmas. For more information on the giveaway, including additional methods of entry, follow the link in the description below. Thank you again for listening, and, as always, when in doubt, nope the hell out.